Hello, everyone who watches the Movie Nights YouTube channel. We are back here with another interview in our local BTS cast and crew interview series. Today with me is Chuck Aurin. Is that how you pronounce it, Aurin?
That's it.
All right, fantastic. So Chuck plays the homeless veteran in our movie. So Chuck, why don't you just start off, tell the people a little about you and how you became attached to the project.
Well, I'm 60 years old. I've been interested in the performing arts for quite some time. I have a very extensive history in other fields, but I always felt like this is something that really reached out to me and wanted me to work in these types of things. So I've been performing now on and off for over 20 years. Done a lot of commercials, a lot of TV shows, a couple of movies and things like that. I got attached to this project through Dalton, who is a colleague at our regular jobs. And I found out he was a filmmaker. We talked, we sat down, we discussed things. I had had a small part in one of his previous movies that had a lot of fun with. I liked Dalton's style, the way that he directs, the way that he writes. He's one of those directors that please do it by the book kind of thing. And then we're doing it digitally. There's no film. We're not burning film. Have fun with it. Go knock yourself out. And that's what we do. And we go out there and we have fun with it. And some of that stuff sticks, some of it doesn't. But, you know, he allows the creative process. And that's one of the things I liked about this project as well.
Yeah, definitely get the shot you need or get the shot you want, and then you can mess around and maybe you get the shot that you needed all along.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other project you said you worked on before, that was Long Hard Day, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
You played a bystander, I guess just someone who's helping along, gives the main cast a ride to the hospital.
Well, yeah, helping, but with ulterior motives.
Oh yeah, definitely not like some kind of weird attachment to one of the characters. So you to my knowledge, I believe we've talked about, you actually have a bit of a past in the wrestling area of entertainment. Is that correct?
Correct. Sports entertainment, professional wrestling, call it what you will.
Mm-hmm. And you play a homeless veteran in the local, and coming from that background, the veteran character doesn't really have a lot of dialogue. He's right. Has lines here and there, but it's a lot of, you're not doing 3-page monologues. So a lot of it relies on kind of physical performance. Did you kind of pull from your wrestling experience with that, given a lot of wrestling is kind of the movement based and everything like that?
Yeah, well, wrestling is emoting physically, obviously. There's some dialogue that gets involved from time to time. But yes, you have to be able to have that connection with your audience, and you have to have the audience invest in what you're doing, or else it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So what you want to do is you want your physical movements want to tell a story in the wrestling ring. I drew from that for this character. One of my main things that I really wanted to draw with is I am a veteran. Not homeless, but I am a veteran. And I've seen a lot of guys who have come back from overseas who have had some things go on in their life where they actually had those kinds of problems. And that was my main thing, was that I wanted to play the role with sympathy towards those guys. And with respect. I didn't just want it to be a one-off and a throwaway character. I wanted to make sure that character counted for something in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I think that was kind of the point Dalton was trying to get across too. I think
so.
An important issue definitely to discuss. And so my next question was going to be, what did you find the most challenging aspect to play into with the character? And it was kind of a two-parter saying, have you played anything similar that you were able to pull from? But obviously you're a veteran, so you don't have to have played anything. You can actually pull from real life experience that you've had. So I guess just what was the most challenging to bring into the character?
One of the most challenging parts of that was, again, going back to the performance, was not trying to overdo it, not trying to lampoon it in any way, shape, or form. I really didn't want that to happen. I wanted it to, I wanted to be respectful, and I hope I pulled that off. I really do. The people I've had positive feedback so far, but again, I haven't had much feedback from veterans themselves, and I'd really like to hear from them and find out how they thought about it. I have, you're aware, other people aren't aware out there, but I was a police officer for over 26 years, and I dealt with a lot of PTSD issues with people with whom I've dealt out on the street. And again, drawing from those experiences and drawing from those people with whom I've worked and with whom I worked with out on the street, I really wanted it to be respectful. And that was the hardest part of it, was not overdo it. When Dalton would say that we're getting ready to roll and all that, it's, I would get started going down into that role and trying to find that dark place and start thinking of things in my mind that I've seen in the past and things that I've done in the past for those people, and just trying to get the empathy, from the audience for that character, as opposed to, again, just discarding the character and just, throwing that person away just because he's a homeless person.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I feel like the character, again, was there for that purpose, because it could have just been any homeless guy, but adding the veteran storyline to it, obviously, and your attachment to that, I think, really brought out more of an emotional performance in it. And I know you said you were waiting for feedback from veterans, but, at the sold out premiere, I feel like there was a lot of positive reactions to your character and where his story goes within the movie. So I feel like that's probably very gratifying on your end.
Yeah. Now, you did ask me what one of the toughest parts was, and I'm not going to lie. One of the toughest parts was holding my temper when I was being roughed up a little bit. That was kind of fun, because and I told them, be a little rough, you're not going to break me, I'm fine, and they were, and I think that plays on screen. It's that. There's a little bit of desperation there, and a lot of that was me, man, I will get up and I will rip your head off in another minute.
Yeah, just keep going. You're getting me right before yep. The boiling point here. So obviously, like you said before, we do a lot of the takes, we get the take that's scripted, and then there's a lot of room for like improv and just generally a lighter atmosphere on set, especially during some of the more tense and emotionally heavy scenes. Do you have a favorite on-set memory from the local?
Well, one of the things that sticks out in my memory that I really had a little bit of fun with was, obviously when we're doing the stunts and stuff, we lay down some pads. In some cases, Dalton, in a lot of cases, didn't use some pads. But there's one scene where I get pushed down to the ground by these guys. And I took a little bit of liberty with it, and when they shoved me, I went ahead and did a flip onto my back, straight over. And I don't think Dalton was expecting that, and he never even yelled cut. He's just, oh, geez, we think we broke Chuck. So,
he's like, are you guys crazy? What are you going to do to him?
And I think it didn't help much that I missed part of the pad, so it was very loud when I landed, but it's all good.
Definitely, just all of a sudden, everyone's adrenaline just roared up, like, "Oh my God, is Chuck all right?"
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, no, I remember that day on set, and luckily it only took a few takes. You weren't tumbling all night.
Yeah, that was fun though.
Yeah, it was a good time. So just the last question I had for you, obviously, on top of the normal challenges of making something like this, we filmed at the tail end of, the height of the COVID pandemic. Were you comfortable on set with all the precautions that were put in place? And everything on that end?
Yeah, actually, Dalton put our minds at ease very, very early by letting us know that he had taken the coursework for safe filming during the COVID crisis and all that. Everybody on set was very respectful of that. Everybody followed the rules. Everybody, if you weren't wearing a mask, people stayed away from you. When you're acting, you can't really be wearing masks. But as soon as the scene was done, everybody put their masks back on and everybody was comfortable again. We did what we had to do, and it worked. Nobody got sick. So
yeah, that was the biggest biggest stress of the whole filming. And I've made this joke, I think, in all the other interviews I did, but I'm going to keep making it again. I feel like we need an IMDb trivia on the local that's just like every single actor performed all their scenes while having a mask in their pocket.
That's true.
It was like, all right, we're action. Okay. Shove it in. All right, cut.
With lines on the face.
Like, we didn't have too many hot days where people were walking out with the mask burn.
Everybody was wearing masks. All our faces are CGI.
Everyone was CGI'd on it. Better than Justice League.
Much better than
thing. We had a better crew for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that is all the questions I have for you. Unless there's anything else you wanted to add, just from Saturday.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
I appreciate you as well. Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we can just stop it here and say goodbye to all our watchers on YouTube, and tune in for the next one, unless this is the last one, in which case, thanks for watching.